You're losing money right now, not to inflation, not to bad investments, to something you already agreed to and completely forgot about. Here's a question. When did you last sit down and go through every single subscription charged to your bank account or credit card? If you're like most Americans, the honest answer is probably never, or maybe once, a long time ago, before the list got longer. And that's exactly the problem. Because right now, the average American is paying for over 12 subscriptions every month. And studies show most people underestimate that number by half. They think they have 6. They have 14. Meet Jordan. Jordan's a pretty normal 29-year-old living outside of Chicago. He makes decent money. He's not reckless with spending. He budgets, or at least he thinks he does. One Tuesday morning, Jordan checks his bank app and notices something feels off. His balance is lower than it should be. Not by a little, by a lot. He scrolls through his transactions and at first, everything looks familiar. Spotify, Netflix, a gym membership, Amazon Prime, normal stuff. But here's where it starts to get weird. Buried between 2 coffee shop charges is a $14.99 charge from something called Premium Vault Pro. Jordan stares at it. He has no idea what that is. None. He keeps scrolling. There's another one. $8.99 from CloudSync Elite, then $22 from Media Unlimited, and a $4.99 from a name that's just a string of letters and numbers that means absolutely nothing to him. Jordan hasn't been hacked. His card hasn't been stolen. Every single one of those charges, he authorized them. He just doesn't remember doing it.
He hasn't been hacked. He authorized every single one. He just doesn't remember. This is what experts call subscription creep, and it is one of the quietest financial leaks happening to Americans right now. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens one free trial at a time. Just $1 for the first month offer at a time. One buried checkbox in a checkout flow at a time. And by the time you notice, months of charges have already cleared, quietly, without a single notification, without a single reminder. And this is where the numbers start to feel genuinely uncomfortable. The average American spends around $219 every single month on subscriptions. That's over $2,600 a year. And research from financial platforms like C+R Research found that most people believe they're spending less than $100 a month. The actual number is more than double what they think. That gap between what you think you're spending and what you're actually spending, that's not a rounding error. That is hundreds of dollars a year just gone. And companies know this. They design around it. This isn't an accident. This is architecture. When you sign up for a free trial, the expiration date is real, but the cancellation process, it's buried on purpose. Researchers have a name for it: dark patterns. Design choices intentionally created to make it harder for you to leave than it was to sign up.
Some apps require you to call a phone number during business hours to cancel. Others make you navigate 5 separate screens. Some send your cancellation request to a queue that may take up to 30 days to process, which means one more billing cycle slips through. But the real twist? It's not even the apps you know about that are hurting you most. Back to Jordan. He eventually figures out where those mystery charges came from. One was from a photo editing app he downloaded for a single project 18 months ago. He used it once, and it's been charging him $14.99 every month since. Another was from a news site he read one article on. There was a paywall, he entered his card details to access this article free, and somehow became a subscriber. The third was from a VPN he downloaded on an old laptop. He doesn't even own that laptop anymore. By the time Jordan adds it all up, he's paying for services on devices he no longer uses, apps he downloaded and forgot about, and trials he never meant to convert into subscriptions every single month for over a year. The total? Over $180 a month in services he's getting zero value from. If you're still watching, this next part will actually change the way you look at your bank statement forever.
Here's the part most people don't expect. The biggest subscription problem you have, it might not be the shady apps. It might be the ones you think you need. Because while you've been focused on finding the mystery charges, the services you've had for years, the ones you'd never think to question, those are quietly eating the most. Think about this for a second. How many people in your household use your streaming services? All of them? Because research shows that the average US household pays for 4 streaming platforms. But across those 4 platforms, most families only regularly watch content on 1 or 2. They keep the others just in case, for that one show, for that one movie that never actually gets watched. And those just-in-case subscriptions compound over time. You add one, then another, then prices go up. Streaming platforms have raised their prices multiple times in recent years, but you don't cancel because it still feels affordable until you add it up. 4 streaming services at today's prices could easily run you $70 to $80 a month. That's $840 a year for content you mostly aren't watching. This
is the real trap. It's not just the forgotten subscriptions. It's the ones you're aware of but have become emotionally attached to, even when the math stopped making sense a long time ago.
And here's what makes this even harder to escape. Subscription companies have spent years studying behavioral psychology. They know that once something becomes a habit, once it's woven into your morning routine, your workout, your commute, canceling it feels like a loss, even if you barely use it. Psychologists call this the endowment effect. We overvalue what we already have, and companies leverage that. They count on the fact that inertia is more powerful than logic when it comes to money. So even when you know a subscription isn't worth it, you keep it, because canceling feels like giving something up, even though keeping it is what's actually costing you. Jordan, by the way, did the math. Once he canceled everything he genuinely didn't use and renegotiated 2 services that offered him a lower rate when he threatened to leave, he freed up $214 a month. That's $2,568 a year. Not from getting a raise, not from a side hustle, just from understanding where the money was already going. So what do you actually do about this? Not a 22-step plan, not a complicated spreadsheet. 2 things, that's it.
The first, do a subscription audit today, not next week, today. Go to your bank account or credit card statement and look at the last 2 months of transactions. Highlight every recurring charge, no matter how small, list them out. You will find something that surprises you. Almost everyone does. The second thing is the one most people skip, and it's the one that matters most long-term. Use a single card for subscriptions. Just one, not your main debit card, a dedicated card, or even a virtual card number that you use only for recurring charges. This one habit makes your subscriptions visible. They stop hiding between grocery runs and gas station fill-ups. They become their own line item, their own budget category, their own accountability system. When that card gets charged, you know exactly why. And when a charge shows up that you don't recognize, you catch it immediately, not 18 months later. The subscription economy isn't going away. If anything, it's going to keep growing. More apps, more platforms, more services, all competing for a piece of your automatic payments. And that's fine. Some of them are worth it.
But the ones that aren't, they don't ask permission to keep charging you. They just do, quietly, every month, banking on the fact that you won't notice, or won't bother to cancel, or will feel too guilty to give something up even when it's stopped serving you. The best financial move you can make today isn't investing in something new. It's stopping the bleeding from what you're already paying for. You worked for that money. Every dollar in your account. Someone exchanged real hours of their life for that. The least it deserves is your attention. Check the statement. Cancel what you forgot. Keep what you love. And don't let a company's design choices decide what happens to your paycheck. Your bank account isn't leaking because you made bad decisions. It's leaking because a lot of very smart people spent a lot of money making sure you wouldn't notice. Now you do.